Hey, what's up YouTube? So I am here with the iPhone 4S and we are going to be doing a speed comparison between iOS 7 to the latest iOS 9.1 and the iOS 9.2 beta, which is supposed to be a little better than the 9.1. So here I have a stock iOS 7.0.4 iPhone 4S that I'll be just jumping through a little bit and showing you guys how it loads with applications, accessing the internet. So we were about 30 seconds or so there. Hopping in. Feels surprisingly smooth. I'm actually kind of sad to update it. As you can see here, 7.0.4 is this 16 gig model. And so we'll just begin. Messages. So it seems to be pretty smooth. It actually feels kind of what you would expect iOS 9 on the latest devices. Typing felt a little slow there. Web response is pretty quick. Wi-Fi is pretty poor, which I've actually noticed with iOS 7. Sorry, there it goes. So there you guys have it. That's iOS 7. We're now going to update to iOS 9 and see how it runs. Alright guys, we're on iOS 8.4.1 now, and we're going to do a boot test from the iOS 7.0.4. 7.0.4 took about 32 seconds, 32 to 33, so let's see how we do with this. So it's maybe about a second off there, just because you have to hold the power button down for it to respond. Again, iPhone 4S. Starting from iOS 7 all the way up to iOS 9. So we're well past the 32 seconds. We're about 42, maybe even 41. So about a 10 seconds more to load iOS from boot. Assuming we have no applications open here, we're going to start loading some apps. The camera seems like it took a little while there to kick in, a little slower than iOS 7. Some apps almost seem a little more responsive. iOS 8.4.1 was a decent firmware. I believe this feels a little longer than it did in iOS 7. iOS 7 seemed to open up a little quicker with Game Center there. The App Store is indeed slower and almost not wanting to load properly. There's quite a bit of lag once you start getting a bunch of applications open. So you can see here there was quite a bit of a lag. I noticed that Safari's performance in iOS 8 was really poor, and you can even see that from here from when I opened up iOS 8 or iOS 7 Safari and loaded Google. It was just there instantly. We're here. A simple page just took so long. It was very annoying. Anyways, guys, that's iOS 8 on the iPhone 4S. So now let's jump all the way up to iOS 9.1 and see if it's better or worse. Alright guys, we've come a long way, but we are here on iOS 9.1. Going to do a boot test now. So about 1 second before the Apple logo showed up. iOS 7.0.4 did about 32 seconds. iOS 8.4.1 gave us, I believe it was about 42 seconds. I think I was off by a second there. Hope for improvement in iOS 9.1. If not, we'll test iOS 9.2. It's in beta, but we'll give it a go. So we're already past iOS 7. We're now past iOS 8. So about 50 seconds. We were another 7 to 8 seconds more for iOS 9. We'll begin by opening some apps. There was a lot of lag time there. Trying to replicate the exact same scenarios as the device boots up, and then as we start filling up more and more applications. Camera. Now the camera was very quick in 9.1. That was actually a lot better than iOS 8 and even better than iOS 7. So weather is taking quite a long time in iOS 9. And there's definitely a hang time when you're opening applications, even the more we get going here. Yeah, there's definitely a lag. I can see where users are saying there's a difference. Health wasn't a part of the last ones. It's kind of cool to be able to go through all of them. I know that not a lot of people have the opportunity to try iOS 7, iOS 8, and iOS 9, so I thought it was really neat that I was able to do a video where I could capture all three of the OSs. The comparison from iOS 9.1 to 9.2 will probably not be as much, but there is definitely a noticeable difference. I would say for the very little things that have improved for iOS 9 and even in iOS 8, iOS 7 was a better firmware. It would have been cool to have gone back if Apple would just allow us to go back to older firmwares. We could test from previous firmwares and find the good ones. So from here, let's see how Game Center is. Actually loaded faster than it did in iOS 8. iOS 7 was about the same. Now I realized I forgot to do a speed test in iOS 8. I'll spare you guys the details. It would have been crap. iOS 8 wasn't known for its Wi-Fi, but we will give iOS 9 a try here. It is pretty laggy opening anything here. So this now taking a very long time just to open the Google page. Refresh was a little better than iOS 8. The one thing I haven't heard is a lot of complaints of Wi-Fi speed with iOS 9 on most devices. I think that's because Apple chose to kill some of the new features they had added in terms of using some old protocols that just seem to work better. HTML5, which is this website, seems to be a little quicker with iOS 9. Was a lot faster with iOS 7. Maybe if there wasn't so much advertisement. And it definitely is slowing up. HTML5, we may not even be able to do a full speed test here. Yeah, unfortunately it's just gonna hang. So iOS 9.1 didn't do so well. I would definitely say over the advantages, if I had a choice, even now, especially seeing them firsthand, that I would choose iOS 7 over 8 or 9. Yeah, let's try iOS 9.1 Beta 3 and see how that handles. Alright guys, we've come a long way, but we're now on iOS 9.2 Beta 4. The last boot took 52 seconds, well 51 seconds. Let's see what this is going to do. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Again, about 1 second before the actual Apple logo starts to show, so not sure if people count when you actually hit the button or when the Apple logo shows up, so remember the iOS 7 did 32 seconds, so that'll be the first one to beat. And unfortunately it doesn't beat it, so let's try iOS 8, which did 42, I believe, 41. Unfortunately didn't beat that one. Will it beat the iOS 9? So there we go. That actually did very well at 47 or 48. So there was a bit of improvement there. Overall, and we are just going to turn the backlight down now. I don't know if you guys noticed that right there. Well, there's a little bit of a lag, but it seems like it's a little smoother here just on the actions. Alright, so let's start opening up some apps again and see how iOS 9.2 performs. Just to show you guys here. Feels like settings opened up a little better. So there we go, which is the, here we go, beta, there you go. Anyways, okay, and messages. Camera. Again, it came on pretty quick. That was actually alright. Wow, actually quite impressive here. We had a lot of lag before. Clock as well is working really well. I gotta say, so far, we're doing a lot better than the 9.1 build. Like the 9.2 Beta 4 seems to be a lot quicker. I did a like over-the-air update just like anybody else kind of would, and the expectations are, you know, we're getting a lot more apps open here, and it still seems to be holding up alright. Let's see. So still a really long load time for the iTunes store here, but it did load up. All the other ones took too long to actually load up. It's the App Store. Not too bad. Still a little slow jumping in. When you're used to the newer devices, they respond a lot quicker. But alright. Game Center. Game Center definitely showed. Yeah, that was actually pretty quick compared to, I believe, most of them, even iOS 7. That seemed to speed up a bit. So I think we've got quite a bit open there. There's a bit of a lag here. Once you get it open, it's not too bad. There's a bit of a lag for the notification center still, but it seems like once you get things open, they start to go a little better. So my final verdict, I guess, it feels nice, but I mean, it's still a beta, it's not a final product, so it's really hard to say. I'll have to definitely come back to it, play with it a little bit more. Inconclusive, but for sure the iOS 9.2 beta definitely stands out. iOS 7 was, in my opinion, the stronghold, iOS 8 being the worst, and then the iOS 9 was very slow. So what do you guys think? It's, all versions seem to, it all depends. The phone was stock configured, no settings changed from Apple's restore. So yeah, what do you guys think? If you like the video and want to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.